Welcome everybody. Let's do an end of market update. Starting with Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin is in the sell zone right now, above second and third standard deviation. Red lines are the sell lines, green lines are the buy lines. Massive pump. I think it's going to dump very hard from here. 44,600. I think it cannot sustain this one. So I think I'm expecting a drop at minimum from here to the neutral line. So looking for 2.4% drop. Ethereum also in the sell zone. Looking for lower prices, it's going to go to around 2387 or best case 2360. So it can also drop around 2.9%. All right. So that's what I'm expecting on crypto. And traditional market, S&P 500 is also in the sell zone. You can see nicely it jumped from neutral zone to the sell zone. Nasdaq came to the buy zone yesterday and then massive pump from buy zone to the sell zone. Almost 2% profits. Dow Jones is also right now hovering near sell zone, and Russell 2000 is in the neutral zone. Gold is also it came near buy zone. You can see a couple of days ago, and now it touched sell zone and a couple of multiple times. Now it's trying to go towards buy zone. Silver is closer to buy zone. You should be looking to buy silver and silver ETFs. Natural gas is already in the buy zone, looking to buy oil and other stuff. Dollar index going towards buy zone. So if dollar goes to buy zone, then it will bounce. Then that will be bearish for gold and Bitcoin. All right. So these are some of the quick updates here, and let's quickly go to daily updates. Let me open, give me a second, let me open this chart here, and let's make a daily chart here. And let's start with Bitcoin. Let's go with BTC futures. And here you go. And let's quickly check 1 hour. Is there any interesting gaps or anything? I don't see anything here. Anything interesting on Ethereum? Nothing here. So let's go back to daily. So on Ethereum, I was saying this gap is going to be filled. Let me hide these moving averages so you can see it clearly. So yesterday, if you watched my episode, I have these arrows pointed here. I said this gap is going to be filled, and that's what they're going now. So 2484, so we are pretty close to the gap here. So that's around 1.5% away, and then that could be the top, okay? And then there's this green gap here. Like if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this gap up here. If I zoom in, you can see if I zoom in, there's a gap here, a little gap here. So I think it's gonna go, Ethereum gonna go up first. So it's gonna give us, it's giving us hint that it's gonna fill this gap around 2484, then it's gonna come back down. BTC, there's no gap up, but there are multiple gaps to the downside. I don't know when they will fill, but they will be filled at some point. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's quickly look at VIX, higher lows, higher highs. You can see it's making higher highs. So it's right on the trend line. So VIX can bounce from here, but just be careful. It's right on the trend line. So tomorrow could be a nice day for VIX to bounce. And if that happens, that's going to be bearish for S&P 500 and Nasdaq. So SPY, you can see it's now trying to break out of this wedge. And you can see this was a wedge, and today we gap up. Green line, you can, if you go to 1 hour chart, you can see we gapped up. Oh, let me hide. You can see we market open, we gap up, never came back, and we're above this wedge now here. Okay, so if I go to 1 day daily chart, so we are now breaking out, but we still have divergence on PPO and RSI. So even if we are going higher, the divergence is not breaking. You can see massive divergence. So that's telling me this could be a fake out move. Just be careful if we come back tomorrow to fill this gap. That's still going to be support. It can come all the way down to bottom of this wedge. Okay, so that's quite possible. And just keep in mind all these green lines are the gaps which we haven't filled. I'm not saying it's going to be filled today or this year. It could be filled next year. We are in a bull market this year, so I have no way of telling you when it's going to be filled, but they will be filled eventually at some point, maybe next year. Let's see. Dow Jones also filled this gap, and now looks like this. Now this is like a indecision candle. So if it closes below tomorrow, that's going to be decision made. So it might come back to fill this gap and then go lower. So keep that in mind. IWM a little weaker, but it's trying its best. This gap is here around 194.39. If I go to 1 hour chart, still not able to fill this gap. You can see this gap down is still not filled, so it's a bit weaker, but it's quite possible tomorrow they will try to fill this gap before they take a next step. And it's facing resistance on this white line and green line as well. Crude oil trying its best to close above these triple resistances. three lines here. So let's see if it can close tomorrow. That will be bullish. CNQ is very bearish, not able to close above 200 SMA. Let's see if it can do it tomorrow. The day it closes above that, that will be a nice move. Tesla, good bullish development. For the first time we close above this green line. So you can see every time we close above green line, you can see we close above the green line here, massive pump. Close above green line here, massive pump. Close above green line here, massive pump. Close above green line here, massive pump. So the first job is done. I think we are getting ready for a pump. At minimum, I'm looking for this gap fill to happen, and then next decision will be made. So from here, I'm looking for around 10% move any day. I don't know if it's going to go in one day, maybe a couple of days, but this gap is most likely going to be filled. And you can see green line is about to cross red line, and that's a good sign, all right? And we do have, you can see new low with higher momentum on RSI. So we do have divergences happening as well. Gold trying its best to hold above all moving averages, so it can still break out from here. Silver coming to the trend line, so you can see very close to the trend line today, just touching it. Maybe it will come a little bit lower tomorrow and then bounce. Natural gas falling nicely, my trend line. So looking for bottom, basically uh, next week. Okay, by mid next week, mixed Feb is the bottom which I'm looking for, and then a massive pump is about to happen. Dollar also just after breakout, just consolidating, maybe backtest before it goes higher. Already covered Bitcoin and Ethereum. Apple closed flat today and breaking out, but finding resistance on this red line, which is 50 SMA, but finding support on this 50 EMA. So it's in the middle of two moving averages. Either it's going to break out or break down. And if it breaks down, support is around this 200 SMA, dark blue line. If it breaks out, then this resistance is around 196. Hang Seng Index. If I hide this chart, yesterday I was saying Hang Seng Index is in a decision-making time. It was right here, right in at the top, and look what happened. They sold off. Alibaba earnings came bad, and you can see the importance of this trend line. Still not able to close above that. So I'm not going to be buying until it closes above this trend line, and whenever that happens, that will be the buy signal. Right now, there's no buy signal on this. Copper below this trend line, which is very bad, and but let's wait for it to go above this trend line. Okay, and below all moving averages, that's not good sign. So let's see if it can we draw another trend line? Let's make quickly see. Is this something like this possible? It could make another trend line like this, but I'm just forcing it right now. But do what's best for you. Soybeans, new low with divergence on RSI and PPO. Still wait for it to close above this white line, which is 20 moving average. Sugar making a bull flag, getting for a bounce. We're doing nothing, just chopping around here, just building base. The good news is it's above this red line, which is 50 SMA, which you have to wait for this blue line, which is 200 SMA to close to get bullish on wheat. Corn also making new lows with divergence, so it's just in patience, but I think these are good levels to buy in my opinion. Newmont Mine, new lows, 52 weeks low with divergences happening on RSI. PPO also has a divergence from here. GDX Gold Miner, still this gap is not filled. Next target is 27.14. And Netflix, okay, all these tech stocks are really extended. I'm not interested in buying any of these. Massive divergences on Netflix. Amazon also massive divergence. Meta another massive pump, but again divergence. No, oh yeah, even on PPO there's divergence here. Microsoft also divergence. So all these big tech stocks are showing divergence. Google is holding support. Again, look to buy on the tag of this trend line. Snowflake's another divergence, massive divergence. So maybe earnings is what the next step would be. NVDA new high again, but again this is a sell signal coming, arrows coming saying it's very extended. You should be looking to take profits. AVGO also divergences. So again, like I said, I'm not interested in tech stock. If anything, I'll be buying oil miners or Tesla. That's the best trade. Or Pfizer. Let's quickly look at Pfizer. How's Pfizer doing today? Let's see. Pfizer was up yesterday and just consolidating, still below this white trend line. So you have to wait for it to close above that. UNH, biggest healthcare stock, is also a nice bounce, but I think it's gapped up. So let me hide this moving average. Again, this gap is now to the downside, and we're gonna make it green. So, okay. So again, you can see multiple gaps to the top still available on this, and bridge also looking a bit bearish here. So also when stocks are bearish, they're showing divergences here. That's a good time to buy. Enbridge is a very good stock to hold for long term. Nice healthy dividends, and it's a utility company, so it's not going to go anywhere. All right. So those who are looking to buy, and although it can come all the way down to fill this gap around 32, but as a long-term holder, you should not be worried about what price it's going to go at. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Please hit the like button, share with your friends and family this channel, and subscribe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.